We will be talking about week number 4, and the lesson to be discussed will be working with Java APIs. So to begin with, let me start sharing the screen with you. And here is what we are going to look into. So this one will be our week 4th. As you can see that we will be talking about working with Java APIs. So when you talk about Java APIs, here we specifically will be using some of the import statements that we'll be using for declaring in our programs and using them for our different set of applications. So why do we need this? Why do we need Java APIs? So if you can see that, why should you reinvent the wheel? If you know that there is something already existing, so why can't we just use it and plug it in our place in our program? So you can see here that frequently you may rewrite the same code for different programs. So generally it happens that we write a set of program, and in that set of program there may be something which will be repeated. So we don't want to use it, the repeated things. And also there may be some part of the code which is already written, and we want to use that code in our programs, maybe many number of times, or depending upon the type of applications. So we have an alternative to rewriting the same code. You use the Java provided library, which organizes frequently used codes. So there are many such codes which are written as a Java part of the API programs as a package. You can use them in your program, and you can organize your code in a way that it becomes very easy for the application to use something which is already built in. So if you want to have a look at this library, you can go to this particular link URL to get the details about the different APIs that are available. So the library in Java is what we call it as Java class library. And as I mentioned to you, that you can just go to this link to get the complete list of APIs. Now, the packages that we talk about comes under from Java class library. So the classes of the Java class library are organized into packages. So on the top layer, we have which is called as a package. And in that package, we have different classes. And that classes combined together comes under one package. And that's where we call it as Java class library, or organized into package. So you can see that a package consists of group of related class. So you can have many classes together to be grouped to form as a package. With a package, it becomes easier to locate the related class. So you can use the class which you are intended to use, which you plan to use. You can use it from the package. Maybe you have seen earlier also that we were writing the programs, and with that programs, we call them under one package. And whatever the classes that you are defining, you were defining under that package. So you have named maybe, for example, public class, uh, my program, or public class student. So all these different classes will be named under a package. So when you first create an application, you will be asked to give the package name so that all the related classes can come under one particular package. So there are some of the packages which are already being built, and that packages has got specific classes under its name, and we will use those. So the things will get clear when we go further. Yes, for example, we have already worked on java.lang. It provides classes that are fundamental to the design of Java language. So say system.out.println, so you are using it. So this comes under java.lang package. Similarly, if you want to build a GUI components, graphical user interface components, so we will be using javax.swings, the package name. And if you are working on network applications, you use java.net. And specifically For some class, for the dates, times, instance, and durations, we have a package under the name as java.time. So these are some of them. There are many other packages. The previous slides were talking about the list of all the packages that you can use. So you have worked on different set of these packages. So let me go to the next slide. So for example, you want to have a font, or maybe you want to use geometrical shapes in your program. So all this comes under java.awt. So this is the package name that we get from Java. So the vast collection of classes are organized like in a tree hierarchy. So you can see here that we have a tree type of hierarchy, which allows packages to be divided into sub packages like this. So we can go over here and see how the packages are designed. So just let me put on the camera for this application. Yeah, so I guess I have on the application already. The camera is on. Yeah, so we were discussing about the java.awt, and in that java.awt we have the fonts and we have the different geometrical shapes. Now, how to use a class from a package? Using a class from a package. So to use a class from a package in your program, you need to specify its full qualified name. So here, the way that you can see here as an example, you can see here the example that we have used here to define the complete package name along with the class name that you are using. So here, java.util is the package that we are having, and from that, we will be using a class called as scanner. So, for example, to use a scanner class to read the keyboard input. So we already worked on scanner class. So if you want anything to be input from the keyboard, then we use the name as the scanner class. So which is defined under the java.util package. So this is the java.util package. So if anyone wants to use data from the keyboard, so always he will be using something like a scanner class to read the input from the user from the keyboard. So it is that what we are using. Now, you can do it two ways. One is using a fully qualified class name. So you might have worked on a program where you write scanner keyboard is equal to new of scanner of system.in. So you, instead of writing the complete detail, you write here scanner keyboard or input or whatever the name, object name that you are wanted to give. You can give here scanner keyboard is equal to, you generally write it like this, new of scanner of system.in. So new of scanner of system.in. So this is one way to do that one. So here what we are doing, we are not giving the complete full qualified name. We are just giving the scanner as a directly we are using it. So if you see the difference here, the difference is we are writing here java.util.scanner. And here also we are writing java.util.scanner. If I write this complete package name and the class name together, we call this one as a fully qualified class name. So you can do that, but here we are just using the class name to create an object for the class, and we can directly get it over here with the class name. Two ways is possible. So it depends upon your usage. So what we are doing here, we are declaring a scanner object, and then we are saying system.out.print, enter a number, and whatever the number that we declared it as integer, we get it as keyboard.next int. So we want the number to be scanned. So the number entered is, so you can see that it's a very long names for the classes. So what happens if I use it? The program readability will become difficult, and also making the coding difficult. So we have an other alternative to do that one. As I mentioned to you, you can use this particular type of doing things. So, and this is regularly people use it so that they don't get confused with the coding things. So is there an alternative to the fully qualified name? Yes. So this is the alternative that I just now discussed to you. So you can avoid the fully qualified name by using an import statement. So what you have to do is, first of all, you have to write an import statement because you are going to use that package in your program. So import package, and the class name that you want to use. So now you can see here that scanner comes from a class as a class name, which comes from the java.util. So I will be writing here package name directly and the class name that I'm going to use. So in that case, I can simply write it down without giving the fully qualified name, because already import statement is used in your program. So similarly, if I want a complete class, a single class or an entire package, so you can do it as a single class or you can do it as an entire package. So if I write instead of scanner, so java.util.scanner, instead of writing a scanner, if I put a star mark, it is okay. So similarly, if I want to use import javax, so javax is the package name and goption pane is the class name. So if I want all the javax swings class to be used in your program, you can write here javax.swing.star. So what it will do is it will bring all the packages in your program. So to import a single class in your program, you write import statement like this. You can also import a single class or an entire package. So that's where you can use the class name specifically or use a star mark to import the complete package inside your program with all the different type of classes that you are having. So that's an alternative to use. Similarly to that of java.util package, so we are having a swing package. So Java has an extensive library for constructing GUIs. So the swing library, so it means all the graphical things that you want, like a window, like a message box. So you have swings. So no need to reinvent the program again. We can just use these swings classes, uh, swing package in your program to import the different classes. So the swing package has an JOption pane class. This class creates a pop-up window, so it will open up a window like this one. So you are not reinventing the wheel. If I simply write here JOption pane, this one will get you this window type of things, and you can modify the window with the different set of things that you are trying to do. So to use the JOption pane class, you must first import into your class. So this is the first thing that you need to do. Whatever the classes that you want to import in your program that you are going to use, you should import them. Then you can directly write it down. If not, you have to give the fully, completely path name. So that's the other way around to do the job. Let me go to the next slide. So that's what I was talking about. So importing JOption pane class. So what we are doing here, import javax swing.joption pane. So we are importing the package and we are importing specifically the class. Public class welcome, public static void main, JOption pane dot show message dialog box. So this class has a specific method called as show message dialog. And then we are having null, the first argument here, and the second argument is hello. So it should be follow this particular format. You have to follow this specific format. What is this null? We will look into it. So this one will be a placeholder where you want that this statement to be placed. But now we just want it to be displayed as a hello message. So this one will automatically create an pane window, JOption pane window, where we are having a message to be displayed. So we get a message as what we are writing over here. So it's not difficult. Just import this JOption pane, and then in the JOption pane, whatever the things that you want to show message dialogs. So there are other classes, other methods that are available under JOption pane. You can simply import them in your program and you can directly use it. So no need of reinventing the wheel. Yeah, so for example, here what we are doing, how do you import all classes in a package? So you can import all classes in a package by using a wildcard character. So this one star mark is called as a wildcard character to import all the statements. So let's say you want to extend the previous example by creating an instance of the JFrame class. So you want a frame and add it reference to JOption pane. So now you want to use a frame, and also you want to use a JOption pane class in your program, and both of them comes from the java.swing.package. So I am simply importing in my program, and then I write the main method, public static void main. So you are creating an class object frame is equal to new jframe, joption pane dot show message dialog box. So this one is message. And now, as I told you, you are having a placeholder frame. So the answer will be displayed onto this particular object that you are creating. So now we replace the null. We are saying that we want the message to be displayed on a frame. So you are having the message that need to be displayed. So here we are using two swing classes. You can use it over here, or you can simply remove one of them, and instead of writing this option pane and instead of using two different statements, so you can simply write import javax.swing.star. So that one will bring all the package classes in your program. But doing that will take up much of the memory spaces. So we use the classes that whatever we are going to use in your program, that you can directly use it here. Yeah, so that was the one what I was talking about. To avoid this, you can import all classes from the swing package by using the wildcard character in the import statement like this, and the same program. It replaces all the statements in our previous program with only one input statement. I hope the usage of class and the usage of the package in Java is clear with these different examples and how to use the wildcard character. So we move step ahead. We want to use multiple. Yes, multiple statements are also possible. Import statements. You can include multiple import statements in a Java program. For example, util.date, util.calendar, javax.swings. So you can import classes from the same package. So here java.util is the one of the package, or you can have from a different package, which is java.x.swing. And here star is a wildcard. It will import all those swing classes, and these are importing specific from the similar package. So you can do that. Now, identify packages that are automatically imported. So you are having a statement here. So far, you have just used system.out.println to print the text on the console. Yeah, we were using the system.out.println. However, you did not import this Java package for using this method in your program. So how does Java know what to do when you call it? So this is automatically from java.lang. It looks by default, java.lang package is automatically imported in all the programs. So you are having all the programs that are imported. So from the java.lang library, it will directly import everything here. So every package has a different option to do, and java.lang package will import all the default things that are needed for your Java program. So that was the one what we talked about, how you are going to import those different classes in your program and what are the default ones that we have. Now, next, let's go to one of the very important class, which is called as a string class. So string means some text that you are having as a string, and we will be working on some string, like a group of words, a group of characters, a group of numbers together as a string, or a combination of some next, like for example, we are talking about here tailors. So we talk here as Taylor's University. So this one is a group of characters together is called as a string. And maybe it can have a password. So for example, your password is capital TAY, and then you have 1, 2, 3 as a number, and then you are having a special character. So this one is also a string. So many a times you need to work on strings in your different examples. So we no need to reinvent the wheel. We have a package from the Java, and that will is the from the string class can be used directly to in your programs. So let's see those different examples. So as explained to you, a string is a sequence of characters. It can include alphabets, it can include letters, it can include special characters, and even the white spaces. So here we say that Taylor's University. So we are talking about Taylor's. So, and also we have some space here, and then we have a university. So the space will also be a part of the string itself. So any blank spaces will also be considered as strings. For example, how are you is a string containing letters. Yes, how are you? It has white spaces. Yes, there is a white space here. There is a white space here, and a special character question mark. Yeah, there is also a special character. So in Java, strings are not a primitive data type like you have seen the primitive data type as integer, double, and those things. But strings, remember this point, strings are not a primitive data type. Instead, they are objects of the string class. So we were talking about the class, right? Strings. So strings class means whenever whatever is created under a class, they form as a object. So let's go to the next slide. In representing strings in Java, how do you represent it? So in Java, strings are objects of the class named java.lang.string. So you see here java.lang, and then we are using the package, and then we are using a class called a string. So now we have to create a string as a class, and then you are creating an object s1 is equal to hello world. So the string will be having s1 as an object for the hello world. So a string in Java is more abstract, so well defined. That is, you aren't supposed to know about its internal structure, which makes it easy to use. So we don't want to go about and see how the strings are. It just we're going to use it normally. Its methods allows a program to perform operations on it. Now I can do some operations on this string. Means I can find the length, I can find out what is the starting letter, what is the ending letter, do you have any white spaces, do you have any special characters, what is the position of the letter E, I can easily find out. So you can do a lot of operations on the strings that you have defined. So we'll be seeing that hello world is a string. What is the position of the character at? So what is character at one particular character you can find out, and you can find out the length of that particular string that you are having, how many characters that it has, and you want to compare it with two different strings. So compare two. Maybe, for example, you are having string s1 is equal to hello world, and for example, you are having one more string s2 is equal to, say, for example, you are writing by. So, for example, you are having a string called s by. So now I want to check whether S1 and S2 are equal or not. It happens many times. You will be asked to check the user password and the confirm password. Are they same or not? So you will ask the user to enter a password, and then you will ask to enter the confirm password, and then you can compare with this particular method under the string class to check it. So that way it becomes easy for us to do a lot of operations on the strings. Okay, next. So as I told you, you can find out about the packages from the link, and you can see here that we are having different modules. Under the different module, we are having the different type strings. So in string, you can see java.lang string buffer, string character. So these are some of the things that we are having under the string buffer type and those things. So if you want to look at the different packages, you can select the package here, and it will give you the detailed information about the different type of classes that we have. So for now, we will look at some of the examples of the string classes that we will work on in getting it. So now you see the first method that we would like to use on the strings is the length. So I will prefer using a method as string for length. You can compute the length of a string by using the length method defined in the string class. So I just want to get the method name as length, and what you want to use it. So for what I want to use it, you will be using by using the object of that particular string class. So method name is the name of the things that you have declared, and the length. So it will return the length or the number of characters. So it will give you the number of characters in the name as an integer value. Say, for example, you can see here that we are defining an object of a class called as string, and then we declare the string as my w. So whatever you write in between the quotation mark is called as a string. Now I want system.out.println. So we are having the object name as name here, dot length. So the length method is available from the string class. Dot length, if you use it as a method, it will give you the length. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the length is 6. So the program is going to return 6. So the first method under the string class is length. So how it goes? You can also assess each character in a string by its numeric index. So remember this point. So always the strings are counted from 1, 2, 3, 4. The length is counted from 1, 2, 3, 4, but the index is counted from 0. So that is the variation. So let me make the things clear for you. So the length of the string will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the length will get you 12. And index, the position, the index always starts from the 0 until the length of the string. So always the length of the string will be 12. If it is 12, I mean for different strings, it will always be 1 minus. So string has 0 to 11 index. So you can see here that the indexes are starting from 0 and it is 1 less than that of the length of the string. So that is between 0 to string dot length minus 1. So here string is hello world. The length is 11. So say for example, if I am giving you one string which is called as is tailors. So if I give you one string which is called as tailors, so with an apostrophe here, so Taylor apostrophe and S. So you can see that what is the length. So if I write here string dot length, so I will get here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So it is directly something like this, that you are having the first letter T, you have A, you have Y, you have L, and you have O, you have R, and then you are having apostrophe as a one more string value, and then you are having S. So what is the length now? If I write a program to get the string dot length, it will always, in this scenario, it will get me the string dot length as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it will return the answer as 8. Now, if I want the length, the string length minus 1. So the index string length will be minus 1, and the number of characters or the number of string length, it will be index. If you are getting, it will be index will be 7. So it starts from 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this one will get you, string length will get you 8, but the indexes will be 1 minus to that one. So I guess things is clear for you now. Now, similarly, you can have another method called another class, which is called as index of. So each character of a string has an index. So that's where I was talking about, index of one particular character that you want. You can retrieve the index value of a character by using the index of method. So you see here, string index of character C. So here, if I have any character, you can get the character. So returns the index of the first occurrence of the C in the string str. So if I am having a string, say for the previous example, we are having hello world. So if I simply write here again, the hello world, if I simply write this one as a hello world, and the hello world thing will be character at. So whatever may be the character that I want to find out, maybe the L. So what is the index of it? So 0, 1, 2. So this one will be, the index will be 2. So S1 dot index of character C, integer begin index. So returns the index value of the first occurrence of C in string S1, starting from the beginning index to the end of the string. So maybe, for example, you want to find out the character at this one, you are trying to find out what is the index of this word L. So you talk about L. So here the character will be L, but where is the index beginning from? You want the index to begin from here, or you want the index to begin from here. So you give the beginning index of it. So here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you want to find for 5. The space is 5. So 6, 7, 8, 9. So you want to find out the letter or the character from starting from the index, which is 6. You can give the number over here. So that's where we are using the method called as index of. Yeah, so you can see here the example with the index of method. So public static void main string, we are having a phone number that's declared as a string. Now I want to find out the index of the phone number, index of for the first dash. So what is the index of the first dash? So index of, so 0, 1, 2, 3. So it is the first is at 3. So the answer got me is 3. Now similarly, phone number index of dash, index 1 plus 1. So whatever may be the index that we have, and from that index, we want to go to the next index. So the next index is 1 plus 1. So here it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you get the number as 7 directly over here. Now, similarly, we have one more class which is called as character at. So now returns the character at string located at index passed. So here string the character at. So what is the character at index 0? Character at index 1. So say for example the string name is Susan and I want the character at index of 0. So the character at index of 0 is S. And then we want character at 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So you get 3 character at 3. So you are having a method which is called as a character at. So string method character at to get directly the indexes of those statements. So similarly, we have one more method which is called as is substring. So now you can extract a substring from a given string. So that is, you can take out a substring from the bigger one. So you are having Java provides two methods for this operation: string, substring of index of from the beginning. So here the method is a substring that you want to use, and starting index is from which place to which place. So that is index beginning. And you can have one more method, index beginning to the ending index, the number that you have. So you can get this easily from this example. So you are having a greeting and you say that hello world as declared as a string value, string variable string, and then you are having sub. So you want a sub to be extracted, and that is from greeting, and then you want substring. So this is the method name substring from the 0 to 5. So 0 to 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So up to 5 the characters are taken. So here 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So up to there should be a semicolon also here. It means it is covering up to the one, up to the fourth letters. Returns the from index to the end of the string. So wherever it is end, that one will get. So here you can see string of W, substring of 7 to 11. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7. So it starts from 7 over here. 7, 8, 9, 10. So one less than that one, it will get you to the length from the place where you want to start from. And here up to 11, similarly, tail, greeting of substring of 7. So the seventh word, whatever is left out from the seventh string. So from the seventh string, the left out is the word world. It will directly print that value over here. Next. There is another method which is called as replace. You want to replace some characters. So in that case, the method replace will be used. So you have to give two parameters here, which are character old character and the new character that you are going to use. So you want to replace R with R. So using string replace, now I want to create a new string and replace all the R's, small r's with the capital R's. So it will replace all the small letters with the capital letters with the characters, as you can see here, using string replace to replace the characters. So wherever R is there, it will replace it with the first characters. So now replace the first ones. So here there is another method, only the first time. This method replaces only the first occurrence of a matching character, and replace method, the string parameter or a pattern, and the string replacement. So you have to give what is the string parameter that you want and what is the ones you want to replace it. So that is the method which is used here is replace first. Yeah, so the example you can see here, replace first, you are having a string and the method that you want to use is replace first. You want to change it RE to RE. So wherever RE is there, so it will change that place. So you can see here only the first occurrence. Replace the first, not the complete one. So here there is RE one time, and also here is also one time. So we want only for the first time to be replaced, not for the second time. So you can see here that string RE is changed to RE in the capital letter that you want to give the formatting, and it will replace it. Only the first occurrence of RE is changed. With RE, the second occurrence is not changed. So here the value is not changed in the second scenario. Right. So we know how to declare a string. You can initiate string in two ways. The one is string, his name is directly you are giving the string literal and you are creating a reference with his name, or you can do it normally, or the other way around. We were doing this one, string is equal to this one. So now another way is also there, using a new operator or a new keyword where the keyword is a new, similar to any other class. So before we were did many number of things like scanner input is equal to new scanner of system.in. So similarly to option pin we were using. So if I want to do it with a new operator, even it is all the same. String her name is equal to new of string. So you have to give it with a particular detail as you can. So the difference is with the string literals. This is with the string literals and this is with the new operator. So both the things are going to be the same. Next, we said that strings are immutable. What do you mean by that? A string object is immutable. That is, after string objects is created, its value cannot be changed. So the value of string 1 is fixed. The value of string 2 is fixed. So you cannot change it. Because strings are immutable, Java can process them very efficiently. So consider the following. We expect this string 1 is equal to hello and string 2 is equal to hello. But this is what happens here. So string 1 and string 2. The Java runtime system knows that the two strings are identical and allocates the same memory location for the two objects. So they are declaring the same hello, hello, but it creates you with two different objects as you can see. Though they are same, that's what it says. Its value cannot be changed. Whatever the value that you have given, it is going to be fixed. Now, the operator that which we use to join the strings together is called as concatenation or concatenating operator. So what is that? Earlier we have used a concatenate operator called as plus. It is not actually adding plus, so it is just joining the two strings together. So in Java, string concatenation forms a new string that's a combination of multiple strings. So you can join two strings together, like the first name and the last name, and you want to bring the first name and the last name together. So the Java helps you out in two ways. One of them is plus, using a plus symbol, and also you can use a method called as concat method, which is written in strings to concat. So here you can see that we have two strings, public static void main string S1 is equal to Susan and string S2 is equal to Roberts. Now, if I want to use plus before concatenation, so string 2 is equal to Roberts, and then string S1 is equal to Susan and string 2. So I want to join S1 is equal to S1 plus S2. So you can see here that S1 is Susan and S2 is Roberts, and then we want it as Susan Roberts. Why? Because the value of S1 is changed from Susan to Roberts. So the previous value of Susan will be changed because you are using the combination of S1 and S2. So that's where we use for joining the strings together. And the next one is non-string data. So that is not strings. We are not talking about some non-string data. Like for example, you want to add the numbers. So now you see here an example. String, new string is equal to learning Java plus 17. This is a non-string number, plus 17 is a number, and new string output. So it will give you the same output as learning to Java, whatever you have declared here. Now system.out.println total plus 17 plus 17. So now why we are getting the result as 1717? Because this is plus is concatenating the output with the total, and 17 plus 17, this is joining 17 and 17. Actually, it is not adding. It is just plus is just bringing the string together. 17 and 17 will bring the two strings together and you get an output. But in case if you want plus as an output, so in that case, you have to use the brackets to make the variation here. So 17 plus 17, these two are put in the bracket. The answer will be 34, and the result total plus, the plus means it is added together. You will get an output total with a colon and 34. So you have to be careful when you are using the numbers, and as a strings, you want the total. Now for another example, you have number string 1. This is 17 as a string and plus 17. So these are not the numbers directly. Both of them are not numbers. So when you add as a string value here and you are putting the other as a number, then you get the output as system out.println with the number string as 17 and 17. Now, that's the preferred way to concat strings. So as you observed in the previous exercise, we were using the plus. They can work with the string, string character, integer, double, or float, or any of the data types that you can use. It converts the value to its string representation. Yes, the whatever the value that you are having, it will change to string before the representation before concatenation. Now here, concat method can be called only on strings. So here, the variation. It can work for characters, integer, double float, and all those things. But here, concat can work only on the strings. Remember this point. It checks for data compatibility, and the compile time error is produced if they don't match. So if the strings are not matched or not concatenated, it will give you an error. So how do you compare string objects, whether they are equal or not? As I told you, you have a method called as compare. You can compare one string with the other things by using compare to method. And this method compares based on the lexicographic order of strings, so how the strings are placed. So what is the first character and what is the second character? That can be done later on. And lexical comparisons are similar to ordering ordering found in a dictionary. So whatever may be the order that you have, based on that order, you can check it out. The strings are compared character by character until their order is determined or until they prove to be identical. So here you can compare two strings, S1 compared to S2. So it returns an integer value that indicates the ordering of two strings together, as the strings will be followed on coming one by one in an order. So you can compare two strings. So say, for example, I am having a string S1 is equal to uh, so return to an integer value that indicates the ordering of two strings, so S1 and S2. So S1 is equal to, for example, if I am having a name as Ahmed, and for S2, I am making the name as um, Ali, for example. So you have a name as Ahmed and you have a name as Ali. So they are equal or not. So you can compare this one with this particular string. So S1 will be compared with S2. And you know that they are not equal because it's Ahmed and it is Ali. So that's where the results will be displayed, whether they are equal or not. So when you are having the result, if the result is less than 0, then the string calling the method is lexicographically first. So it means that they are if it will lexicographically first, means the order in the dictionary, how it comes, the capital letters, small letters, and the letters that it comes. If it returns 0, then the strings are equivalent. If both the strings are equal, it will give you, say for example, I am having a string called as high and one more other string which is called as high. So now when you compare this, so high and high are equal. So the result will return the answer as 0. So it means that they are equal. If it is written greater than 0, then the parameter is coming the lexicographically first. When the parameter is passed to the method, it will come as first. So let's look at an example. So we have a word here, computer, and compare to comparison. So returns an integer greater than 0 because lexicographically first computer comes and then comparison. So for that, it returns greater than 0. Cab compared to car. So because cab and car are the letters that it has there, is because string calling the method is lexicographically first. So it is not similar. So it is less than 0. And car here is compared to car. Yes, both of them are equal. So it will return a value equal to 0. So that's where the return values will be checked on to get the numbers. So here is an example to demonstrate that. You have 3 different strings and I want to compare S1 with S2. So here S1 is Susan and the S2 is Susan. So are they equal? Yes, you can see that SU, SN, all the first letter is a capital. They are similar. So it will give you an output as 0. Now here, if returns, because S follows R. So say for example, S1 compared to S3. So string 1 is compared to string 3. So here it is Susan and here it is robot. So you can see that the S follows R. So S is the one which will be coming later on. So it is R which comes first in the dictionary in the lexicographical analysis. I mean in the reading one, R comes. So the output is 1. So if it is other way around, S3 compared to S1. So S3 compared to S1 because R precedes the capital S. So here the letters that you will be looking for is S3 is less than 0. So it is getting you the output as -1. So that's how the compare operators will work. Okay, so that was a string class. Now we have another class which is called as a random class. Very useful for gaming and for generating some random numbers. So applications based on random number generations. So for example, like a card game, you need to shuffle the deck of cards and then randomly distribute. Maybe in a lottery game where the number generation will be random. So the person wins if the number matches the randomly generated number. So in that case, so as already explained to you that random class will be used. So we are having from java.util.random and you need to create an instance of the random class. So our number and then the new random number is what we use with the new operator to create. And here you are using it from java.util.package. And that's easy. So no need to write a complete program to generate the random number. Simply import the class util package and then the class from random and it will directly get that values. So what are the random class can provide? It provides you a true or false value. You can obtain random values by invoking the following methods. Boolean means it can give you a true or false value. Is it next integer? Is it a next long, float, next float, double of next double? So this will give you the numbers where it is a decimal number or where it is an minimum value or maximum value that you are going to use in your program. So random class output will be using that. So say, for example, we want to write a random number. How do I write a program? So this makes the things easy. Java.util.random class is imported and then public static void main. And then we are creating an instance of a class random, new of random, and we generate a random number. So integer random of that next integer. So system.out.println. So whatever may be the random number, it will simply generate a random number from the system. And next time you run the program, you may get a different random number because this is randomly generated at the runtime and you get a different values. So that's how the random class can be used. So for example, you can obtain a series of random numbers using calling the next integer method several times. So if you want to use next number to be random with a specific number, so it will be followed. So you are having the same random number series as a class, and here you are creating an instance of number as a random class, random number 1, 2, 3, 4. So whatever may be the random number it generates, it will be followed for the next 5 because it will take from the previous number generated and you get the other numbers to be followed. So here, previously we saw the integer. You may be having a double next random number to be generated. So everything remains the same. Only thing is you need to create a double random variable. So you can use it to get a next double as a method that you want to get the next random number. So it will return any numbers from 0 to 1. And for example, you want from 0 to 19. So here you can see the previous one. It is just giving the random numbers, but you want specifically from number to 20. So you have to specify the range. Here's an example that obtains a random number in the range. So you are having an integer random number to be generated here. So maybe you want a random number to be generated from 100. So you can write here 100. Generally in a dice game, you know that dice games has 8. So you can simply say the numbers that you want to generate, specifically how the random numbers can be used. Okay, so generating a range starting from. So say for example, for one particular numbers you want to start from one range. So to specify a range starts with 1, add 1 to the result of the next integer. So for example, to pick a number between 1 and 40, you have to add 1 to the result. So you want 1 specifically starting from 1 to 40. So you can simply write next integer random number from the range to +1. So alternative to the random class is from the class math.random. So it is also coming from there. So for that, you can use java.lang math.random. So this is a number greater than or equal to 0 and less than 1. So you are having from the math class as well to generate it. So when this method is called, it creates a new pseudo random number generated the same as if we are using the random class. Enter the code from in slide known below to run the code several times to see how the results differ. So you can check the random number generation. So the last package that we will be using here, the class, is the math class. As I explained to you in the class itself, how the math class can be used for different mathematical functions. And for importing that, it gets from java.lang package. So these are some of the math class methods that you will be using: absolute value, ceiling, cos, floor, log to the base 10, maximum of 2 numbers, minimum of 2 numbers, power, random numbers that I just told you about from the math, round to the nearest whole number, sine and square root. So if I want to use any of these methods, so I have to import the math class in our program. So the difference between and the math class, the methods of the math class are static methods, can be invoked through the class name. So you can just get this numbers directly from the class name or the object that you are creating. That means you don't have to create an object of the math class to call the methods. For example, to invoke the method of a random class, you have to create an object of the random class. So earlier what we were doing, we were using an object of the random class to get it over here. So here you can statically get that value to be done. So here you can say method of a math class. So math dot square root of 121. So directly we are getting the math value. So you can call the method class without creating an instance. So here we are Earlier, we were creating an instant, but now we are not creating an instant in the next example. So we want the square root of that particular number. So math is the method that you want to use, and that can easily get the value. So that's the difference between using a static method and an instance of a method class. So storing and printing the results. So you can see that we are to see the results of your print to store it in a variable. So we have system.out.println, and you are directly getting the math square root. But here you want to store the value, it will just get the value and print it. But I want to use the value for a later time. So I can declare it as a square root and the same thing that we are using here. But now I get the value as in a square root here. So I declare the instance of that class. So you can combine the results of different math classes together. So here I am using a minimum function, and here I am getting an absolute value, and I am combining them and the result that I'm going to use. So here you can get the numbers. So the minimum of 3 and 7 is 3, and then you are adding it with a plus sign here, the absolute value of minus 50, and the result is 50. So 50 plus 3, the result will be 53, and it is displayed there. Similarly, we have a pi field where the math class contains a constant pi value, and you can use that pi value as 3.1415. So math class methods are static methods, are accessed by using the math class name directly, like I mentioned to you before. So similarly, pi is a static variable in math class, and it accessed using the math class name. So to use the math and pi separately, you have to use the math.pi operator. So here is an example where we want to compute the area of a circle. You are using scanner class, instance of scanner class, enter the radius, you get the radius, and you are getting the next double. And now you can see here that I am using math.pi value 3.145, and directly I am multiplying it. So that is how the math can be directly used by getting 3.14 from the statements. So with that, we complete the usage of APIs. So we discussed about the different APIs. We talked about the string API, and we talked about the random API generation numbers. We talked about string classes and option pin, JFrame, and all these things. I hope things are clear for you. And next time we will meet again with a new week lecture. Until then, thank you, and see you around.